Magnificat anima mea Dominum, et exultavit spiritus meus.
So there are very many highlights that happen as a result of Legion work. We don't do the works just to get the highlights though. The most important thing is that we're faithful to the Legion system and that we're just doing everything that we should be doing on the works. But incidentally, as you can imagine, there's a lot of very wonderful things that happen whenever we go out and do our Legion work. Just speaking from personal experience, there's probably been about a dozen people that I've come across at St. Benedict's that I found out through one reason or other that they weren't in a valid Catholic marriage. They were in a marriage, but it was not in a sacramental marriage. So just getting them in contact with the priest, they were able to receive those graces and become Catholics in good standing, even though they didn't necessarily have any ill will or do anything against that. So whenever you are part of the Legion, you can find out certain things like that. Similarly, there was a gentleman that came to the church. He was kind of off again, on again, and he had a daughter that was about 3 years old. And whenever COVID broke out, he was really scared and knew that he had to get his daughter baptized. And he didn't make any connections with anyone at the church. So thanks be to God, he got in contact with me and said, hey, I need to get my daughter baptized. And I was fortunate enough to serve as the godfather of his daughter. And another legionary was the godmother. And we just put them in contact with the church. And that's what the Legion's supposed to be like. There's oftentimes a comparison that says that the pastors of the church and the priests in general are the shepherds, and the legionaries go out and they're acting as the sheepdogs, trying to get the flock to the shepherds to be pastored to. Some other works that have been really incredible for me. One day I went door to door, and this is prior to moving to St. Benedict's, and we knocked on the door of a Spanish speaker. So the person that I was with spoke Spanish. And it was amazing because this woman said that she'd been away from church for about 30 years. And something inside her just said, oh, I need to start getting connected with my faith. She was actually watching EWTN whenever we came and knocked on her door. And about a week later, she made a confession for the first time in 30 years. Another wonderful story that I had that goes along similar with that is at the Mary table, I was talking with a gentleman that I had become friends with, just through the Legion of Mary table, and he told me that he had not been to confession in 7 years. So we gave him a book on how to make a good confession, and he said that he made his general confession. So there's all sorts of little miracles, and we're told that a lot of people go to confession. They use our booklets. They've been great sources of support, and we're not familiar with everybody that we've touched and we've come in contact with. The last highlight that I'd like to share is one of the works that we've done has been going to a park. So we went to Chesapeake City Park. They have a farmer's market, and we set up a table with literature and sacramentals like rosaries and miraculous medals. And one woman came there, and she was not happy at all with the Catholic Church. She was fed up with all the different scandals and everything like that. And she actually accused us of being Satanists, which I can't blame her with the different scandals that happened. And thanks be to God, she was generous enough to talk with us. And today she is an active parishioner at St. Benedict's. So you just never know how Our Lady will work in these regards. And finally, beyond just the highlights that happen, with returns to the sacraments, there's a great deal of uplifting between the members. I know just the fellowship that I get from everybody else, it really inspires me to be a better Catholic. And I know that everybody else in our meetings feels the same way. And we've also received a miracle that's not an officially approved miracle, but one of our active members, who's no longer an active member, she's a praying member of ours, she was diagnosed with cancer. And she only underwent one chemotherapy treatment. And we said a novena to Frank Duff as his birthday was coming up. And prior to having that second chemotherapy treatment, the cancer was all gone. And the doctor said there's no way this could have possibly happened after only one treatment. And we fully credit that to Frank Duff, and we believe that he's looking over us and interceding for us, not only here at St. Benedict's, but everywhere, and continuing to keep the Legion strong and build up the Catholic Church.